Whoa, £1,000, £1,000, £1,000. One of you might walk away with £1,000, which will be absolutely amazing. Now, before I introduce the guest, I just want to make something extremely clear, and that is the rules of the challenge. I think we need to get that out right at the very beginning. So if you head over to the Culture Cats community poll, you should see, I'm trying to screen share, I put it on the wrong screen. You should see the rules here. It's a little bit smaller, so let me just blow it up and I'll read it out to you. Rule number 1, the challenge is going to end at some point between now and 10 p.m. tonight at the time when I say it ends on this stream. Okay, no entries will be allowed after that. Only one possible winner. So if 10 people get it right, it'll be the first person who sent that entry in. Your drawing, this is the most important bit, your drawing must be an attempt at drawing my drawing, like you might imagine a photocopier might do. It's no point you drawing a castle and maybe I've drawn a castle and saying, well, I've done the same thing. It's got to be something that a reasonable person will look at and say, actually, they've attempted to copy the picture, not just draw the same thing. So imagine more like a photocopier. That if a reasonable person would think that's what you've tried to do, then that will be accepted. If you want to send me an image, and I'll keep bashing back to this, if you look for the entries in this stream, if you look at the bottom of this, flashing along the bottom, I've got @CatsConspiracy. Now, that is my Twitter handle. And on that Twitter, if you go to my very, very last tweet, so go to my homepage, I've put this. This is the official Twitter thread for tonight's challenge. And that is where you can draw your image. I will accept people describing it very detailed in words in this thread, but this is where you can go and send me your image if you already haven't, okay? Because I've already got a lot. Some of you might not know what I'm talking about here. I'll clarify in a second. But we've already got some suggestions. Doom, the co-host, the co-owner of the 8 out of 10 Cats Challenge, has sent this as his image. I haven't drawn that, but that's what he thinks might be in the envelope. And we've already had one here from Ion. So if you just reply, we will periodically keep going through those. I'm going to chat to Scott in a second, but if you are not sure what the hell is going on, I was interviewed by a psychic. Not interviewed, I was given a live reading from a psychic last week or the week before, can't remember now. And we assessed the accuracy of it. And out of that, I decided to set a remote viewing challenge for all psychics. In front of my fish tank behind me there is an envelope that I've drawn a picture in, and I've been inviting people to try and copy the picture, use their psychic powers. And anybody who gets it right, using the rules I've just given you, you've got to be 18 as well. You will win £1,000 if you're the first person to do it. I don't think anyone's going to do it. But let me introduce. You will know him if you've been anywhere around the community of creators, myself and Creaky and Simon Dan, and now the 8 out of 10 Cats and all that community that seem to come around at the same time. You'll recognize a certain arcanics from the chat. And here he is. It's Scott. Scott, how are you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm doing fine. Looking forward to getting my hands on that money.
Well, you have got your entry in, mate. You have got your entry in. We will be looking at that. I'm just going to bring the chat up, and we'll see if there are any questions.
Oh, can I just point out, you might have to, on Twitter, you might have to go to where it says comments may be spam or whatever, because Tusk's thing is hidden.
Oh, it's Tusk. Let's have a look. Tusk. Is that what he said? Okay, I sent his entry. Oh yeah, I can't see it. Right, I'll try and sort that out. We'll have a play with that in a minute, and periodically I'll just bring the Twitter up and we'll go through the lot. So, first things first, Scott. Been around the community for a long time, all right? But I've never actually asked you this. When it comes to this kind of stuff, obviously I know you're not a flat earther. I know that 100%. But I've never actually asked you where you stand on this whole other kind of, say, conspiracy, this whole other branch of alternative science. Like, where you stood on this whole kind of psychic remote viewing thing?
Well, I am a psychic medium. No, of course not. It's a lot of bollocks.
Do you think it's harmful, as harmful as flat Earth, or maybe?
I think it can be. It can easily be used to, talk people out of lots of money or have them believe in all kinds of things. But I don't think it's quite in the same ballpark. You're not necessarily going to go into other conspiracies from psychic, I don't think, whereas flat Earth does lead that way.
Yeah, perhaps not a gateway thing. And I know what you mean, because if you believe the Earth is flat, then, but automatically you're writing off the moon landing, you're writing off the ISS, you're writing off, geology, you're writing off education, you're writing off so many things. But Doom, the 8 out of 10 Cats co-owner, is in the chat there. And I think me and him, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doom, but I think me and Doom have got a very slightly different take on this. I think Doom said to me, I hope you don't mind me saying it, that if somebody's providing a service that helps somebody grieve and get over something, and that is a useful service to that individual person, then that's, maybe not the worst thing in the world. That's perhaps providing a useful service. I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said. I'm sure he can correct me and I'll bring it up in the chat. And I get that opinion. I really do get that view. And I did think long and hard about that, actually. And I've spoke to a few people that kind of like offline who share that opinion. For me, though, I can't. I still think it should be torn down. I don't know what it is, but I feel it's just an easy way to take money off people. He says never stabbed the door, so I've obviously completely misrepresented him. Sorry. There we go. Here we go. Let's see. Psychics are more harmful. There's a woman known locally as Septic Meg who did it over the phone. 50 quid. Per call.
It's a nice little earner, isn't it?
And it's an easy earner, isn't it? As well, like if people believe you can do it,
yeah,
and they're going to buy in, it is a nice little earner.
And I've seen people when psychics are terrible, and they're just getting miss after miss after miss, and you talk to them later, and they say, "Oh, they were amazing," because they only remember the hits.
Yeah. Well, it's that whole kind of positive reinforcement, isn't it? That I'm sure there's like a psychological term for it, but that kind of confirmation bias, I suppose, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's very. I understand it's controversial, and I am going to show a clip for those who haven't seen it of the psychic who gave me a reading, contacting somebody from the spirit world for me. I'm going to play that tonight. We'll get your thoughts on it. But first of all, Scott, before I show your entry,
yes,
I'll
take the money in 20s, please.
Yeah, you've already won, Scott. Don't we know? I'm going to ask ChatGTP to see if ChatGTP can get closer. All right, I want to do this live. I've got to prime it so it knows who I'm talking about. I swear to God, I've never done this. Do you think it'll have a clue who Culture Cats is? Maybe.
It's probably giggling you now.
Should I give it an enter? Here we go. Let's have a look. Culture Cats is a twat from Blackburn. Also known as Conspiracy Cats. And a TA. I tell you what, I'm impressed with that. That's actually not bad, is it?
That's good, yeah. You're famous.
That is, to know I'm a teacher, to know I'm a YouTube, to know how you speak on. Right, so it knows who I am. Right. So now what I'm going to say is he has an envelope with a picture in it. What is on the picture? Pretend to be a remote viewer. Okay, you have to forgive my grammatical errors. Okay, and we'll compare it to yours, Scott, and see what Let's have a look.
It shows the curvature of the Earth.
Ah, the photograph is crisp with the Earth's round horizon. Well, that's bollocks because it's not a photograph.
It's got a lot of confidence in your drawing skills. That.
Yes. I've just seen this for later. If you don't know who Carl Carlton is, I'm going to show it you soon. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Okay. Now we'll make it. I don't think you will. Okay, Scott. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on, because I've got about 30 entries here that I've got from Twitter. But yours is first. Would you like to tell us what it is and why you think it's in the envelope?
It is an energy-saving light bulb, even though I've drawn it with an old-fashioned filament. And obviously, that's what's in the envelope because I'm psychic.
Okay.
I literally looked at you on the night when you announced it, and a light bulb appeared in my head. And I thought, that's what he's drawn.
I do like it. And I did talk about detail. So like the kind of detail I'd need is, you know, if I had have drawn that, I would have needed these lines to be on it. You know, these vertical lines here. I'd have, you know, maybe not in exactly the same place, but you know, that's a very specific type of light. But so I like you've gone in with the detail. I like it. Excuse me. Right. I'm going to bring this up here because Miss Carrie McFox has actually got a couple of entries in tonight. Yours are on the PowerPoint, Miss Carrie. So hang fire. Hi, Rachie. How are we doing? Let's have a look. And PJ.
A check for £1,000. I like that.
I'm really interested because I know me and PJ don't believe the same thing on a lot of areas. Okay. I think down the years we've sorted that out. But he's a good guy. I know he kind of believes in this. So I'm interested. PJ, did you actually send an entry in? Did you actually send an entry for the remote view? I don't know what your stance is on that. We'll see because I will be interested. There we go. Okay. So, Scott, I'm going to allow you to dictate where we go from here. We can answer some questions from the chat. We can. Oh, wowzers!
Oh, that's.
I don't know if that was an accident or not, because 50 would be a lot of money. Present, if that was an accident, if you let me know, I'll make sure you get that money back. Okay, if your fingers slipped or something, because that actually, if I understand what that is, that's a lot of money. So let me know if that's an accident. I promise you'll get that back. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to bring it up. And if it's not an accident, it's extremely generous. But if it is an accident, I will make sure you get that back. Okay. Sorry. That just threw me a little bit. Scott, what I was saying, we can answer questions from the chat. We can go through some of the entries on the screen. We can look at the what's coming in live on Twitter now. The entries coming in live on Twitter. Or we can look at the psychic, some psychic fails, or the psychic who spoke to me last week. What would you like to do?
One of the watching the psychics, I think.
Okay. Do you want to watch the psychic who interviewed me last week, or do you want to watch some psychic fails?
Psychic fails.
Okie dokie. So the reason I'm not getting straight to opening the envelope is because we're waiting for more entries to come in. Let me just see if I'm just curious if Present 99 gets back, because I will make sure you get that money back if that was an accident, mate. If that was a slip of the finger. It's just throw me a touch. That has. Okie dokie.
Very generous. If it wasn't.
If it wasn't, it's unbelievably generous. Yes. So that's tremendous. So that's thrown me a touch. What were we doing? We were going over. Yeah, just trying to look out for his stuff. Yeah, if you can look out for him in the chat, and then we'll see what goes from that. Okay. So psychic fails. Are you familiar with the Chodmunts channel? I know we spoke about it briefly before.
I am not. No.
So he's brilliant. I'm gonna link his channel in the description. I was a silly Billy and I forgot to do that before, but I'm gonna link it in the description. And essentially, what will happen is he takes like or what he does. So is he just does compilation stuff. He doesn't speak over it, but he takes some brilliant compilations. So let's see the first 2 psychic fails, and then we'll move on to something else. Here we go. Is the sound coming through?
No.
Oh, shine a poo. Was it not coming through for anybody?
I don't know about live. Can you hear the sound, people?
Let's try that again.
No sound. No sound.
Oh, okay, so let's do the window. Let's do that. Sure. Let's try again, see if you can hear it. Can you hear that?
Nope.
So I'll fix it. I'm a legend. Anyone who knows this channel knows how good I am at tech, and they'll know I'll fix this. No problem. Also share tab window. Microsoft tab. Screen number 2. Share system audio. Share. So I'm sharing system audio. Okay, how about this?
Every day. I lost my boyfriend.
I can hear it.
You can hear it. Brilliant. Okay.
Did you hear that? Yep, they did, I think. Yep.
Brilliant. Turtle moves. Yes, I did remember to put something in the envelope, sir. I did. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Okay, so here we go. Psychic fail number 1 after my tech fail.
I lost my boyfriend tragically a few years ago. They never found him. And I've had such a hard time since. Every day.
The reason why you didn't find him is because he's in water. And find him in water, it's like the girl is missing in Aruba. You can't find somebody.
Well, it was September 11th. There was no, he was a fireman, but.
He was a fireman for that. I mean, I'm not laughing at his loss, but what a mistake to make on national TV. How bad could that be? Oh my God.
Couldn't really have been more wrong.
Died in water and he was. She actually goes on to suggest that maybe he drowned himself with the hose. I'm just going to play. Yeah, here we go. Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, exactly. She goes on to suggest that. Let's play that bit.
Well, no. See, I keep seeing him in water. Is there any way he could have drowned in water some way?
They never found a piece of him. Nothing.
From 9/11.
Because he says he couldn't breathe and he was filled with water. Well, if they were trying to put the fire out, come on, town.
They could have, yeah.
Dear me, for trying to put the fire. Oh, we got an ad. So there we go. I'm going to bounce back to the chat. We'll come back to that later on. But if I bounce to the chat, and then we'll look at just maybe a handful of entries, and and then let you. Have you seen anything in the chat you want to address? Hi, I am Blue.
I've not been looking. Let me go back.
Okay, while you have a look in the chat for anything you want to address, I'm just going to show some of the entries here because a lot of people in the chat will be wondering if I've actually collected them. So there's yours, Scott, and I do hope you are correct. I do hope you are correct. We have Catherine, who's drawn that. It's a beautiful boat. It's exactly the kind of quality of picture that I would be able to produce. So she's spot on with that angle. We need some music, some like, what was that TV show that showed like pictures with do around the background? Like, I got the music wrong. Someone in the chat might know. Let's have a look. All right.
I mean, like Take Heart and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. Tony Hart. Yeah. Cat's gonna speak. Okay, so we've got that. This one, Nick Wheeler. Is it a badger on roller skates? So it's been logged, and Frooney in the chat showed us what that might look like. I don't know if that's AI or an actual picture. What do you reckon? Is that AI or is it used AI for that? Does that look real to you?
I suspect that might be AI.
Take heart. There we go. That's the one. Yeah, you're both right. Okay, and here is Frooney. Right, Scott, you always beat me in the quizzes pretty much every single week. So that's over on the. Not last night. I did win one. That's over on the 8 out of 10 Cats channel, which Doom is in the chat actually. So he's a moderator. He can actually drop a link to that if he wants to. But that's where we do the weekly quizzes over there. And more. I don't know what a Hecate is. It's a Hecate humming down. What's a Hecate?
Hecate is a Greek goddess.
Hecate. Right, I got that slightly wrong then. So
3-in-1 goddess. I can't remember the exact details.
Wow. I'm just thinking of all the possibilities there. I like this one. I do like that one. Turtle moves. Yeah, he's done a good job with that. I should maybe for some videos, if I'm debunking something really stupid, actually use that as an idea. I like that. And here he is, Doom. Bring him right here. This is what he thinks. This is what he thinks of me. Cock and balls. And I won't tell you Scott, how many people do you think predicted I was going to draw a cock and balls?
It was my first thought. So quite a few, I'd imagine.
We got another one straight at the same time. You haven't drawn. I was actually pretty close to drawing it, but then I thought, yeah, somebody might think that. But let's just bring in Doom's other entry, so to speak, that he left on the Twitter thread, which is where's the Twitter thread gone? I've got 3 monitors. Oh, it's here. Yeah. So this is the live. Here we go. That's what Doom drew. Thanks for that, pal. That's this stream money. I haven't drawn that. That's not in the envelope, no. Anyway, we'll maybe come back to some of those later on. Okay. Scott, have you seen anything you want to address in the chat? Or do you want to go back to the fails? Do you want to look at more entries? You guide this, mate.
Alvin wants to know if it's a drawing of Dusty Bin in a back alley making himself vomit.
Who said that? Sorry,
Alvin.
Let's have a look, see if I can find that. Because I want a log of the entries on the screen. I really like that idea. Dusty Bin. You know when Ted Rogers used to go 3, 2, 1, right? When I was a kid, I was that young. I used to think he was doing something really weird with his finger. Like he was just literally going 3, 2, 1, wasn't he? Actually, I can't do that. I've got inflamed tendons at the minute. But were you a big Dusty Bin fan?
Sadly, yeah.
I loved it. I loved it when he used to come on at the end and little face. I bet Rachie50 has no idea who Dusty Bin is. Shame.
That was primetime TV.
It was legendary. What was the actual show called? Because it wasn't called Dusty Bin, surely.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, it was just called that, was it? 3, 2, 1.
I think so.
How do you enter? Okay, so Joe Black. Just a quick one. If you want to enter, you can either describe your picture of a lighthouse in great detail in the chat, or you can draw it. You can go to my Twitter account. The Twitter handle's scrolling across the bottom @CatsConspiracy. And you can draw a picture, and we'll scroll through the Twitter entries later on, and you can just reply to my very latest tweet that says this is the official thread. They're the 2 ways you can enter.
Requiem for a Dream says it's a question mark in the envelope.
Requiem for a Dream. Let's see if I bring that up. Well, I mean, I can't say it might be. Who knows? Carl Carton. I'm going to show the Carl Carton thing later on. Oh, dear me. Oh, here we go. Okay, so PJ, I don't know if you're on Twitter. Have a go. Seriously, it's there. you know, I like you, PJ. I know we disagree on a lot of things, but you're always very respectful. You're a good guy. I know you believe in this stuff, so have a go. I'm not going to take my camera off that, and I'll open it live and show it to the screen. There's no dodgy business going on, so it's up to you if you want to have a go. We have a clown wearing a crown. Okay, so Scott, what do you want to see more entries? Do you want to see another psychic fail? Do you want to see the Carl Carton clip? Or do you want to address the chat? It's your call. Put you in boss position.
What's the Carl Carton thing?
It's the when I had the psychic last week tell me.
Oh right, I see. Oh, of course, I've forgotten about the Carl bit. Yeah, let's have a look at that. People might not have seen it.
Okay, so if you didn't see my video last week, and not many people did, because nobody watches my videos these days, you don't get many views. That's not a problem. I still like making them. But I was interviewed by a psychic here. I got in touch with her. She was a very, very brave lady. I'm going to always speak positively of her. She was one out of over 20 psychics that I spoke to, who only one out of 20 that agreed to have her abilities put to the test and tested for accuracy live in a live interview and then analyzed on YouTube. So
I think she really believes she has a gift. She really seems sincere to me.
I think so too. I think she really believes she can do it. She did say to me, you know, I'm going to give her every opportunity. She did say to me before we started that if somebody's skeptical and closed-minded and not giving much back, then that can stop it working, or paraphrasing. So, you know, that certainly would describe me. But this is what happened when I asked for the one thing that everybody wants when they go to a medium, which is to be put in contact with somebody who's passed. Just feel free to tell me to pause at any time, Scott, if you want. Good night, the Menace. Here we go.
Okay, I've got somebody, and this is probably. Anyway, I'll tell you what I've got. I've got somebody who's coming up who you went to school with. Well, actually, now what's coming into my mind is you've said you're a science teacher, so it just could be anybody from school. Pass to the spirit world. Male. There's somebody male. The past to the spirit world. We went to school together. Somebody who had either breathing problems or asthma problems or couldn't breathe. Yeah, I feel like this person would have died young.
What's young to you, Scott?
I don't know. That's pretty subjective, isn't it? I don't know. It'd be before 30s or 40s, wouldn't it? Really, to be dying young, I suppose.
I tried, Gareth, to give zero tells. I did try, but again, that I was warned beforehand that kind of stuff would perhaps not help it work. You know, not feeding into the energy or whatever, to give it the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I did deliberately try for zero tells. Let's see.
Nearby, and he lived nearby. But I feel like you would have been friends, mates, or someone you knew well. I just can't breathe. Okay, take that away. I don't want that. Disease. I feel like it was an illness. John. Is there anyone around you, or can you take the name? I'm not saying specifically for this person, but can you take the name John? John.
Can I just ask, does anybody in the chat know somebody with the most common name in the UK? Does anybody, I don't know, do you, Scott, know somebody with the most common name in the UK?
Funnily enough, there may be a couple I know, yeah.
John Smith. No. Hey, you are Mott. How are we doing, sir? And I shouldn't poke fun because she was extremely brave and she knew that this would be analysed. She knew it would be analysed. But to me, I did feel really sorry for her at this point because I thought she's struggling and I'm not doing anything back. And like, she's going to have to push on with it. But everything she was saying was so wide of the mark. It was really...
The thing is, in normal situation, she would be getting some feedback, wouldn't she?
Well, exactly, from the person she's reading and being able to bounce off. And yeah. And I wonder, is that where the confirmation bias comes in, or is that what makes it work? Well, I mean, I think it's the confirmation bias. Obviously, I don't believe it works, but maybe she genuinely believes that it works, and that's how she feels. You know, she needs that interaction. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's why she believes it works, because she gets the feedback and then that leads her on to the next bit. So she thinks she's got a gift.
I'll tell you a story now. When I was younger, I used to do all sorts of things, you know, as we all did when we were younger. We have all sorts of hobbies, and I used to do like a lot of martial arts stuff. I used to teach karate, and then I did a bit of like grappling and stuff like that. And one of the clubs I was at, there was a guy who believed he was an instructor. He was super talented, you know, he's a super fluent grappler, really, really good. But he got very much into this chi kind of stuff, and he'd have his students stand there and he'd have them facing the opposite way, and he'd try and use energy to try and push them or pull them back.
The psychic punch.
That's it. And what I saw when I was there, like, was these students feeling really awkward because there was this silence. It wasn't working. And then just to end it, they'd go, oh yeah, I felt a bit of a push. And then I'd speak to them afterwards in the pub, and they were like, no, but it's really awkward being stood there in that silence. And I just wanted to, but that was all confirming to him that he could do what, you know, obviously stuff he couldn't do. It was crazy.
When I was doing Shotokan karate, there was a guy there that totally believed in that. And the same thing happened. People felt so sorry for him that they'd end up throwing themselves on the floor. And it just fed into it until eventually, you know, we had to tell him, you know, you're not doing anything. And he was a bit hurt, to be honest, that we'd gone along with it. Well, I didn't, but they did.
There's a guy on YouTube, and he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but there's lots of him on YouTube, and I can't remember his name. If you're in the chat, he's really famous, and I'm sure some of you will tell me. He's a Japanese mixed martial artist, and he makes it his mission to get rid of the delusion that these people are under, you know, with the energy healing. And he'll go and he'll very politely challenge them to a public MMA match.
Yeah,
and they'll sign a waiver, and you know, there's money, etc. Yeah, and he just, is that Zodong? Is that him? Is that him? And basically, he just knocks them out within like 10 seconds every single time. Anyway, let's get to Carl Carlton. As in, like, do I know a John who's
on? No, it could be a brother, could be this guy's going brother, and it's got a John. You're getting the word name John. Tell him about John.
No, I mean,
does someone live around you called John? Tell him yes. Jonathan.
No, I mean, I obviously as I've taught for 20 years, so in terms of I will have taught people of all sorts of names and stuff. But I'd imagine it's, you know, not. You're not thinking of something like that.
Okay, can you take someone who died young and who definitely had some kind of breathing issues, or, you know, it was an illness? I don't feel like it was an accident or a suicide.
Died young. No, Clarence, we were talking about somebody on YouTube. We're not challenging anyone to an MMA fight. It was a YouTube thing. I'll send you the link to the round table.
What age? When you say younger, are you talking like, you know, child age or?
No. You know, an age that you don't expect to die, 20s, 30s. You know, someone. Oh, yeah.
With the breathing difficulty. Can't place that. Sorry, you know, I can't place that.
Here it comes, Carl Carlton. It's on its way.
Okay, I've got bikes. Going out on the bikes.
Thank you, Timo. Thank you.
Look, like, just leave it with yourself. This could be a neighbour. It could be. He says he didn't live far from you. Nearby. Tell him about the bikes.
I mean,
going on the bikes.
Yeah, of course. When I was young, like
fields,
most people, we'd
fields,
play out on
fields,
bikes, and
There's grassland. Just park, field, grass. I'm not in a. I don't feel like I'm on the bike in a. You know.
And this is to do with
was urban, but fields, got fields as well.
And this is to do with the person who died.
Yeah. So you and this person, it's a kind of a mix. This person knows you, and they're trying to explain how they died and memories.
Can I just ask, how many people in the chat, just say yes or no, knew somebody who died when they were young and also used to play out on your bike?
I was just thinking that she's doing well for me right now, because I used to play in the fields, which is in an urban area, and one of my best mates was called Carl. Maybe she was reading me.
Well, sorry. French shaman. Okay, so I'm guessing there's German here. Sehr, sehr nett von Ihnen. Danke so sehr. Ich weiß nicht, was ich sagen soll. Danke so sehr. Yeah? Sehr, sehr nett von Ihnen.
I guess that means thank you.
I don't know. I just read it on the back of a fortune cookie. It said someday it will come in handy. Sorry, no, that's extremely generous. Yes, sorry, I'm kind of just, but yeah, no, you're right. It's going to fill a lot of people's backstory, and this is where I do feel maybe a little bit guilty, because I said to her I was going to be very black and white when it came to assessing accuracy, and even though I truly believe what she's saying here was generic. Yes, I used to play out on my bike. So maybe I should have said, yes, I used to play on bike. Yeah, that is a tick. That is accurate. Maybe I should have given her that feedback, you know, rather than be so stone-faced. I don't know, really. I don't know. She'll talk about Carlton, and then we'll wrap this up.
So you riding a bike or being on bikes, and John, Carlton. Does the name Carl or Carlton mean anything? Street could be a person. Carl.
I knew a Carl when I was growing up, but I still see him knocking about. He's not ill or dead or anything like that.
Okay, well, this person knows Carl, and you know Carl. So this.
And that's kind of where that bit ended. Do you know a Carl, Scott? Could that actually work for you?
I do know a Carl who I used to hang out with when I was a kid, but he's very much not dead, and I'm pretty sure he's not related to anyone called John. Certainly no one in his family called John. And
well,
I can't think of anyone that he knows called John, but I could be wrong on that. I'll
get to Timo. Thank you so much. Extremely generous. Thank you very, very much. And it would be Carlsberg tonight. It's Cruz Campo, the drink of the round table.
Oh.
I know a Carl as well. I usually do drink Carlsberg, to be honest. I knew a Carl as well, and what I said to her there is I grew up with somebody called Carl. I went to the same school, but the truth is that I actually said that because I was feeling so cringe at the time, and this Carl, I kind of remember him being in my primary school. That's it. I just remember him being there. He still lives in the same town, and I probably see him once every 4 or 5 years from a distance. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, that's that Carl guy from our primary school. I don't think I've ever had a proper conversation with him since we left primary school. I didn't like him at primary school. I think even once we had a fight at primary school. And it would just be very odd if somebody precious to me come back from the spirit world to say, hey, remember Carl? that would seem a really odd thing to do. So, oh God, I don't know. So we are getting to the rules of the competition as laid out. I've got to open that envelope within the next 15 minutes. So I'm going to get through some entries now, I think.
There are a couple more on Twitter.
Brilliant. Right, brilliant. Well, what should we do? Do you want to go to Twitter first, or do you want to go to the PowerPoint first? Your call.
I don't like having power. PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Okay. So NASA this is where I could really hang on. There is some audio built into StreamYard. There is. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do it like what's it called? Take Heart.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works. Tell me if you can hear this.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, here we go then. So, NASA payroll system says it's got something to do with the number 297. Roger Babin says it's a blank page. FunCube says it's me in a Borat swimsuit, which I tell you what, Doom is reading you there, mate. He's reading you. I tell you what, we've got to get FunCubes on. We'll see where he got that from. That's brilliant. I don't know what particular gentleman anatomy is thinking of here. What do you reckon?
Any, obviously.
We will reveal with pizzazz. We will. I've tattooed it on Scott's back. He's going to turn it around. The envelope contains a drawing of an image. I like that. Okay, a flower. A cat doing a poo saying woof. A cat chewing a scamper's fingers off. Is it a knob? No, it's not a knob. Jennifer Lopez doing a traditional no play while in the background it's finished and just a central heating thermostat.
Or a castle.
or a castle. I love that one. A circle. So, I don't know if she's still in the chat now, but there was a couple of entries from this lady here. One is a mug, very specific, I like it. A mug with the handle on the left side and a flame on the right outside of the mug. And there's a face inside the flame, and the face has got wonky eyes, and the right eye is larger, and the nose is lopsided and small. We're getting in some proper detail here. So I don't even know if I can imagine that. It reminds me of the next. Go for a picture of a castle, maybe. It's a knob. The knob. Cat playing guitar. Fish tank with some bubbles. Here we go. An Xbox controller. A key. That's 3 entries from the same person. This one I got today from Broken Dad on Twitter. Now that looks like something I'd draw. I'll let you. I'm going to knock that music off because it's driving me nuts. Actually, I don't know how. I don't know how to knock it off. We'll stay on this one for a while because this could be the closest of them all so far. What do you make of that one, Scott?
It's a sad pony.
I
think. I mean, actually, I'm seeing some other things in it now. It's going a bit Rorschach.
Which is the face end?
I think it's a horse, and the red end is the face end.
Yeah, because I thought, yeah, if the red end is the face end, that makes more sense. If the other end is the face end, it's having a pretty disturbing shit. That's all I'll say. It's obviously not well. But oh, bless. There's not many left on this here before we go to Twitter. Frooney, that's a nice one. Lots of detail. This is a freaky one. An old man sitting in an armchair with a ghostly kitty cat sleeping on a pile of money. And the text below says the money is buried in the allotment below the cat's coffin.
If it's that, my mind will be blown.
That is interesting. I'm going to leave that on screen.
No, I'm worried.
Let's have a look. I'd like to fist that. Please tell me I've still got that clip. Oh, right. Okay, so Xillusion X, a picture of Transformer saying I'd really like to fist that guy. If you don't know where he's got that from, he's got it from here.
He's back. I'd sure like to fist him.
Oh, brilliant.
I wonder if they knew.
Was it Kevin James? What's his name? Was it Kevin James, the guy who did that? The series itself was a bit rubbish. It was a bit disappointing. It was a bait and switch. It was supposed to be about He-Man, and then they killed him off in the first episode, and then it wasn't about him at all. But that was funny. That was funny. Okay, so we've got 10 minutes before we do this, and I'm not going to keep you too long. We'll wrap this up fairly soon-ish, but we will go through the Twitter stuff soon.
Dougal Tolan says the picture is a camera, a light, and a microphone.
Dougal Tolan. Camera, a light, and a microphone, just as I use for the videos. Yeah. Okay. Possibly could be. See anything else? Oh, going with a flag says You Are Mopped. If you've not checked out the You Are Mopped channel, by the way, it is absolutely brilliant. He interviewed lots and lots of people. I had the pleasure of being on his podcast. Well, I call it podcast, but it's YouTube. But anyway, whatever it is, I had the pleasure of going on there. And he's such a nice, easygoing guy. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing something with him in a couple of weeks, but I can't, until that's confirmed, I can't say anything. But yeah,
I am actually subs to him.
Cool. He's a great guy. Really, really good guy. You see anything else you want to comment on in the chat there, Scott?
A portrait of Nathan Oakley admitting the Earth is a globe. That's Magnus Holmgren.
That would be fantasy, wouldn't it? That would be. Okay. I'll tell you what, we'll bring... Yeah, Rach is right there. You Are Mopped does rock. Okay. So we'll bring up Twitter. We'll fly through what is on the tweets. And then me and you will just have a chat, I suppose, till it gets to 10 o'clock. And we're done. Now, why can I not get to the very top? Okay. So I Am Blue said it's a self-portrait of me in the form of a stick man. Oh, and he's also offered some conspiracy flavor crisps with the Illuminati eye. I like that. There's some good detail in that, mate.
That's a pretty good sketch.
That is. If he's drawn, I know he's good with AI, so it might be AI because I know he's good with that. But if he's drawn that by hand, I'm pretty impressed with that.
Actually, looking at the writing, it's AI.
Oh, that is good. There's Dooms. I'm going to get rid of that one. Sun, Moon. Okay. All right. From Scott's Extremist. I like that one. Oh, Wooks. I like your style. Scott, tell me you know what Ewood Park is.
I'm guessing it's Blackburn Rovers football ground, but I am literally guessing because...
Did you say it was the greatest sports stadium in Britain?
Yeah.
Because you'd be wrong. It's no, it's it's Blackburn Rovers. We've got Hong Kong Fooey.
Number one super guy.
I never actually watched that as a kid, and I'm surprised. Oh,
Well, every episode is the same, so you only need to watch one.
I didn't realize you could click on them and make them blow up like that. Oh, Tusk has gone to. Oh God, it's South Park. That's.
No.
I don't know what to make of that one.
And I want to know how he knows about my ex-girlfriends.
I was going to say something similar for me. That is both disturbing and impressive. Tusk. He's done it twice. There we go. So he's still in the chat, Tusk. That's oh, hang on, Terry. Come to troll me. Turfmoor is better. Oh, dear me. Anyway,
I don't know where that is.
that's Burnley's ground. So
I didn't know Burnley had a football team.
Not necessarily a football team. You know, did you win, Tusk? Well, we're going to find out, mate. We are going to find out. Right. Let's get something here. I'm going to open it in 6 minutes. Between then, I'll have a good old chat with Scott here, and then we'll open it. So, Scott, is there anything, by the way, you want us to put out there in terms of Twitter handles or anything that you want to publicize?
No, I don't actually do anything other than comment, really. So I just open my big mouth on the internet. Apart from on Wednesdays when I appear with you on 8 out of 10 Cats and the quiz. The round table.
If you check out my Twitter and the community post, that channel is linked in there. You can find that. And you always kick my ass every week. Absolutely. Which
you won last night.
Yeah, I won one out of about 4 million.
I've only won one.
But you still beat you. Every other week you beat me. You're being very modest. You do kick my butt. Now,
Timmy and Jim kick my butt. So,
well, they cheat. I'd never say it, to the face or on a public forum where more than just me and you could hear it. But they definitely cheat, 100%. So, right, you think this is nonsense? If somebody is right and they've won it, would that change your opinion? Would that change your worldview?
It would depend on what it is, I think. I mean, if it was something very, very specific and the chances are remarkable that anyone could have guessed it, then it would certainly make me think about it. But, if it turned out to be wavy lines or one of those things that psychics always do, like a house, no.
Yeah. I think that was my mission when I set this out, because I don't believe in this stuff at all. But I thought I'm going to draw something that's nobody can guess. But if they get it right, it will be the best £1,000 I've ever spent, because it will have shown me that I am wrong in all the way I think about things. I am completely wrong, and and it would be like flipping and starting again. So we'll find out whether.
I tell you what, there was a thing about 30, maybe even 40 years ago when Uri Geller was on TV, and he did some remote viewing type thing where he drew a picture off stage and said that he was getting it from somebody in the audience, and he drew an elephant and he brought it out. And there was one person in the audience who said, well, I was thinking of a rhino, and that was the hit. Says, well, it's come from somebody at home. That's what it is. And of course, there was about 40 people in the entire UK who thought of an elephant.
Yeah.
And from then on, those people are always on the internet saying, but he guessed my elephant. But what about all the ones that he didn't guess?
And also, and I just want to say, Timo, mate, thank you so much. D&D. Yeah, we could maybe do a bit of online D&D. that again. Thank you so much for that, Timo. Thank you. That is a really, really good tactic, though, from Uri Geller, because when you draw something so like for me, I could have easily drawn a cock and balls. Everyone would have expected that from me, and then I could say, "Oh, you've got a hit. You know, we've got a hit here. You are psychic. You've drawn what I'm thinking of." For him to draw an elephant, he must know when he's drawing that the chances are that somebody, many people in the country are going to draw. He must know that's a guaranteed hit.
Yeah.
He must know.
The thing is that there were clues earlier as well when you watch it back. So he's talked about animals and he's talked about Africa and various things to put it in people's heads. And it didn't actually work with the audience. So he passed it on and said that he was getting it from TV people and call in. And of course they did.
Yeah.
And it made it look as though he'd got a hit when he really didn't.
Well, I'll tell you somebody else who did something brilliant. Darren Brown. Obviously, he never claims to have powers. I'll tell you what his trick was, and then see if you can figure out how he did it. You might have seen it, but he wrote to a woman and said, just anonymously, and said, "Look out for the winner in such and such a horse race. Can't remember what it was. It's going to be this horse. Go and put £1 on it." And then the week later, he wrote to the same woman. And he was like, "Go and put £1 on this horse." And that happened about 7 or 8 times. And then he said, "If you're interested in knowing who I am, come and meet me, he somehow got in touch anyway, either come meet me or ring this number or whatnot." And she found out it was him. And he took her to a live horse race and convinced her to put a big stack of money on a horse. And she won thousands of pounds after him telling her week after week after week after week after week who the right winner would be. It was a trick, but have you any idea how he did it?
Well, I can think how I'd do it. I would send a letter for each entry in a race to lots of people. And then when I got one right, I would send them the next one and get rid of the rest of the people. And then when I got 2 right with someone, I'd get rid of the rest of the people and carry on sending them to those 2, and eventually whittle it down to one that I got a stream of people, a stream of rights with.
That's exactly what he did. He wrote to thousands and thousands of people, and then obviously with each race, he had to cut a 6th out because a 6th would have. Yeah. No, he had to cut 5 6ths out. Yeah. And he whittled it down. And even for the live show, he had 6 people turn up, and 5 of them never made it on camera. Only the one whose horse won.
All right. I was going to ask, how did he do the last one?
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was very honest about it, and they were all refunded the money and stuff. He didn't take anything. But listen, it is that time. I'm just going to check for any last minute entries on Twitter. But as per the rules, I am now calling time. No more entries. But let's see if I've got a notification here on Twitter. It might be me mum telling me to go for tea tomorrow. Oh no, it's somebody just liking the post. Yeah. Okay. So I've got no more entries. So it is time. Do you want to throw in a guess? I'm going to grab the envelope now. But do you want to throw in a guess, Scott?
Let me just check. There's no other entries. So I'm saying no. Never mind. It's a joke about the 11 missing frames. A trapezoid jumping a chain rope across a rainbow. Is there any others?
Is this in the chat? I'm letting you read them out because I've got to keep this on camera at all times in case people think I'm. So I can't bring them up. I'll just let you read them out.
Another cock and balls. Thomas the Tank Engine, pearly drawn. A red heart. Someone saying Uri Geller admitted that everything he did was fake. He did in 2008, and then he changed his mind. I can't see any others. No, I think that's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, am I going to have my worldview changed and shell out £1,000, which I wouldn't mind? Or am I going to go to bed disappointed that my worldview stays the same? Dum dum dum. So what I've drawn, my camera's not great, is 3 doors. Each of them have the number 69 on the front, of course. In front of the first door is a poo, and I've labeled it poo just in, to make it clear that's what it is. The middle door is a dead cat, and on the end of the last door below that is an axe. That is what I drew. Maybe that's a story. Maybe the cat shat outside that door and then the guy came out and killed it with an axe. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking or drinking at the time, but that is what I drew.
You're not going to believe this, but I was about to guess that.
It's not artistic, but I tell you what, a ghostly kitty cat, right? So there's a dead cat. And if we go all the way back, one of the very first entries I got, the very first, had a cat and a poo in it. And this has a cat and a poo in it. It's obviously not a winning entry, but it did have a cat and a poo.
I thought that was a brown-faced person with black hair. I didn't realise it was the poo symbol.
Okay. So it was some badly.
I thought it was his hair coming down the side there.
Oh, Timo, thank you again so much, mate. Thank you very much. A Geometria that's thank you. Yes, Geometria that. This Geometria or Geometria, I don't know how do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
But,
I think it's Gematria, isn't it?
Gematria, right. Gematria.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not very good with numbers.
Well, the stream's gone an hour. That is my typical stream time. And I'm going to wrap it up in a minute. What I'll maybe do is just hang around, see if there are any questions from the chat about anything. I am going to drink one more beer before I go to bed. So that is the maximum length of time I can stay up. But I presume we're going to end in a couple of minutes. Unless anyone's got any questions or anything you want to talk about, Scott.
Well, I've got to go and see someone and explain that I can't pay them the £1,000 I told them I was going to pay them back.
Did you tell them it was guaranteed? It was,
yeah.
I'm odds on.
Definitely have it for you tomorrow. Yeah.
Gematria. That's RG. Gematria. Yeah. Zumi says the same. Hi, Zumi. Gematria. What type of street has... You see, this is it, that guy. It's those little details that I thought nobody would ever guess. Although the number 69, people might guess, obviously I'm a bit silly, but what does PJ say? It's like there's not much going on now. Yeah. FEP review. I was hoping to have my worldview changed. Are you disappointed, Scott, that nobody got it right? I mean, obviously, personally, you didn't get it, but are you disappointed nobody got it right?
I wouldn't say disappointed, but it would have been really cool if someone had. Even though it would have ruined my view of things, I'd rather that happen and be excited than, it's just normal.
I think that's what, for example, flat earthers get out of the beliefs. Is like, if that had have happened, my entire worldview would have changed tonight, and I'd have been like, oh my God, like all this stuff out there that, is supernatural or weird or just beyond my understanding. And there still is, obviously, in the laws, lots of things beyond my understanding, but like this kind of like paranormal, supernatural, weird and mystical stuff. And it would have been so entertaining and so inspiring and would have been amazing. I think that's what flat earthers and creationists get out of it. It is this feeling that it's almost like escapism. I might get it from watching a science fiction film, but they live it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because I get the same I read a lot of fantasy books to escape, and they've got it, but it was part of their real life sort of thing in this world where magic happens.
And it is nice to, it would be nice to live in a place like that, but unfortunately, it just isn't the real world, is it?
No.
I don't see many questions coming in, and it is getting late. I don't want to keep you. I don't usually do late stream, although I might actually, you know, do a little bit more streaming on this channel, but we'll see. So I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to let you go to bed, and I'm going to close this down. I tell you what, Scott, I'm going to let you see us out, and whenever you say goodbye, I'll hit end stream. But thank you for coming on, and thanks for giving us your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on, and good night, everyone.
Good night.